Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. The tailgate show for the tailgaters. Done by the not-so-ready for prime-time pickers. Hosted by the Lunch Eaters Man of the Year and legendary broadcaster Bill Bubba Bussey. You only thought you knew college football. Call Mama Moon and saddle up for a football experience. Now, here's Bubba.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. I'm your host, your formerly, or I should say, your let me read this right. Let me get it right. I am your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and I want to welcome you to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. This is where we let people who don't really know what they're doing pick ball games and talk about it. So come right on in and have a good time with us. We want to remind you of our website, the tailgatetailgateshow.com. You can see a full list of information on the show. Our radio partners that also carry this program. Few merchandising items are there just in time for the cold weather and all of that. But we're here tonight to talk about the national championship game. It's finally here. Can you believe it? I want to welcome in our guest, Hunter Bussey. Hunter, how are you doing?
Good, Dad. I'm ready to see how this plays out. It's been a long season. We're going to crown a new national champion, and history is going to be made on both sides. And I'm really hoping that one side comes victorious because it would be quite the story if so.
Also joining us, he's been a regular this year. He also speaks fluent Spanish. Nathan Hall. Nathan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I think everyone at this point knows how obsessed I am with Indiana sports, not necessarily collegiate athletics, but I would love to see Indiana pull off the 16-0, and they're staring it down. So it's Indiana versus Miami. Who didn't think it was going to be Indiana-Miami at the beginning of the season? I mean, come on. It was obvious.
I didn't think it was going to be Miami 3 weeks ago.
It was right there, man. It was obvious.
And our special guest picker in our final show of the year as we preview the national championship game, Molly Robinson. She is a former Nebraska dance team member and current co-host and content producer for the three-man front on Jocks 94.5. Molly, welcome in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I can't believe Indiana football, like you guys were saying, is actually in this position. As someone that graduated from a Big Ten school, never would have seen this in a million years.
Molly, I have to ask you, since you are from Nebraska, do you ever get any comments about Big Bang Theory? You know, the star on that show, the young lady, she also was from Nebraska and really promoted Nebraska sports. I don't know if you ever saw that program.
I didn't know that, but I'm not from Nebraska. I just went to school there.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually from Alabama, so I am an Alabama girl, just decided to go up to Lincoln for college, but I never got to meet her. But there are a good handful of people, some pretty big celebrities that are from Nebraska that I did get to meet at, football games or basketball games. I have a picture with the guy from Pitch Perfect, Adam Devine, who plays Boomer in that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I also have a picture with Larry the Cable Guy, who I knew from my childhood as Toe Mater, which was
Legend.
Well, I have to ask you this too. How did you end up at Nebraska? From what part of Alabama are you from?
So I'm originally from Huntsville, I'm a North Alabama girl. Both of my parents are from North Alabama, but my childhood moving was a little complicated. Whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I really don't know what to tell them because I feel like I'm from everywhere. I was born in Huntsville. When I was 7 years old, my family, we moved up to Detroit, Michigan. So I lived in Detroit for a good part of my childhood. And then when I was 13, we actually moved to Nashville. So I did half of middle school and all of high school in Tennessee. And then when I graduated high school, my family moved back to Huntsville. So whenever someone says, "Oh, I'm from Tennessee," I'm like, "Oh yeah, me too." Or, "Oh, I'm from Michigan. I'm from right here." I'm like, "Oh yeah, me too. I'm from here." Or whenever someone says, "Oh, I'm from Alabama," I'm like, "Oh yeah, me too." Like, what part? Like, I always feel like I'm from everywhere, and I kind of answer that question depending on who asks me and honestly where I'm at, because I feel like all those places in one way or another are sort of my home. But most of my family is still in Alabama. My brother and sister-in-law, they are in Michigan. They're in Ann Arbor, but they're the only family that I have left up there.
Molly, I'm actually old enough. I remember when Nebraska was really good in football.
What? I hear that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, every year it was them in Oklahoma. They were number 1 and 2, and they would play on Thanksgiving weekend right around the time Auburn, Alabama played. I hate they don't play now. That was one of the great rivalries of all time, and I actually saw them when they played at Auburn one time.
Being in Lincoln, that was something I heard a lot about, the old Big 8 rivalry between Nebraska and Oklahoma. And we actually played Oklahoma my junior and senior year. We played them in Norman my junior year, and I got to go with a bunch of my friends. And I went as a fan. I didn't have to go for dance team, so I kind of got to, lay back and kick my shoes off a little bit and have some fun. It was a really close game, but then when they came to Lincoln my senior year, I remember Fox Big Noon Kickoff was in town, and I got to meet the whole crew of Big Noon Kickoff, and hoping it would kind of be a game similar to last year, but
right.
We got obliterated. I think it was like 56-7. It was like 62-7. It was awful.
Nebraska was always famous for their line. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They had them big corn-fed boys,
Yes, famous for the corn-fed.
And I don't know where did they all go? Down to Texas or something? I mean, they just disappeared. What happened?
A lot of them went to Texas. Some of them actually went to Oklahoma as well. And it's kind of hurt us actually being in the Big Ten, because we had I was like in elementary school when Nebraska moved to the Big Ten, but they had to change a lot of their recruiting pool and where they would get these kids from. I think since Matt Rule's kind of taken over the helm in Lincoln, he's tried to really get back to Texas for recruiting. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Scott Frost kind of got away from that, and since Nebraska left the Big 12, but I think they're kind of starting to kind of get back to that roots. And that was one of my favorite things being in Nebraska. And you have this everywhere, but you gotta love when you have a kid that is from a small town in Nebraska, because Nebraska, you have Lincoln and Omaha, even though Nebraskans say that Omaha isn't really Nebraska, but the rest of the state is all composed of small towns.
All right.
There was a girl in my sorority who, she was from a town of 300 people, graduated with 12 in her class, high school, and the nearest Walmart was 2 hours away. But it was a farming community. I know, right? I'm like, imagine going 2 hours to Walmart when mine's right down the street. Yeah. But that's kind of the heart and soul of Nebraska. It's the backbone of America. It's the backbone. It's these farmers, and they're these super hardworking people. And you have a lot of kids like that come into the program, and it's really cool. You have so many stories of an example like that had to play 6-man football, but then they come to town as a walk-on and then eventually end up as a scholarship player.
Right.
That's just, in my opinion, one of the beautiful things about not only the state, but the university and the football program as a whole.
Well, you got to control that line of scrimmage if you're going to win. Ask any Auburn fan; they can tell you that. And I think their problems are somewhat similar. Maybe both of them will get out of that. Guys, let's do this before we recap. Well, let's go ahead and recap first before we move on. Yeah. Last week we didn't have a lot of games to pick. Hunter was, went 2-0. The rest of us 1-1. So he really wanted me to get this segment in. I understand. I got that. But I'm still winning the overall 92-36, Hunter 85-43, and Nathan one stroke behind at 84-44. Guys, let's recap a little bit about the two semifinal games. Miami and Ole Miss, I think, has been the best game I have seen so far of the whole playoff. What do you think? Hunter, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, we were watching that game over at the Valley Post near my house, and we were glued, especially the fourth quarter. Like, you didn't know what was going to happen in that fourth quarter. They both flipped a switch, and it was whoever wanted it more, and Miami wanted it more, and that's what ended up happening. There might have been a questionable call at the end. At least that's what a lot of people at the restaurant were saying, who obviously had put money on the game because they were acting like it. But other than that, I thought it was one of the best games of this playoff so far. You could debate some of the other matchups, but I think overall, like, if you look at the playoff body as a whole, I think this was the best game.
Nathan, what do you say?
Yeah, I think it was a coin flip going in, and I think, Bubba, you and I sort of picked based on what we hoped would happen, I think, with the Lane Kiffin situation.
I wanted I wanted the anti-Lane Kiffin story to keep going. Yeah. I wanted Ole Miss to win the national championship and Lane not get the trophy. That was my whole goal. I got outside. I didn't look at the stats. I didn't do my normal breakdown. I just went with a heart, and so did you.
It was almost a troll pick. It was like let's just try to manifest the Lane Kiffin troll. But I think the big kind of deciding factor was third down efficiency. Ole Miss was like 2 for 10. And Carson Beck made the plays. He looked like the Carson Beck that Kirby Smart recruited him to be, and that he ultimately went to Miami to try to become. So that was the decider.
Now,
but
Nathan,
man, what a game.
Didn't you say that you thought he would crumble under the bright lights like he normally does? Isn't that what you said last week?
Well, I said that about Trinidad Chambliss, and I said it when they played. I especially thought it would happen when Ole Miss played Georgia earlier in the year when he went to Samford. I was like, fair state, he's not going to go between the hedges and light it up against Kirby's defense. And he kind of did for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I don't think Trinidad Chambliss was the problem against Miami. I think there was a lot at play there. He's a good quarterback, and I've kind of ripped him the whole season unfairly, probably. He's kind of proven me wrong at every step of the way. I think he's solid. And I think the future of Ole Miss's program is really solid. They're going to be a problem in the SEC. And maybe they just needed a coaching change, man. Maybe they just needed to get Lane out of Oxford. Who knows? But, yeah, it was a good game, and Miami got it done.
Molly, you think they can keep it up?
I really hope they can, and I hope that and we kind of talked about it here at Jocks, we hope that the Oregon-Indiana game would be similar to what we saw with Miami and Ole Miss. You know, it was so entertaining. It went to the fourth quarter. You know, Carson Beck, he showed up and made plays when it mattered most. Nathan, you mentioned it, the third down efficiency that we saw from Miami. I mean, like you said, Ole Miss, they were 2 for 10 of third down when Miami was like 11 of 19, something like that. But for Miami to keep, I mean, what I love about this matchup too is the fact that Miami, they're the first team in the BCS or the CFP era to play the national championship game in their home stadium. But with Miami, do you really have the home field advantage, especially with the Indiana fan base that we've seen travel all over the country at this point, from the Rose Bowl and then to the Peach Bowl? And with Indiana, I mean, they've never been in a situation like this ever. You know, Miami, their last national title appearance was in 2003. They won it in 2001, and I wasn't alive, obviously, going back to the Nebraska days when they were dominant. But you look at the 80s and the 90s, and then even that stretch in the early 2000s of Miami football just being dominant. But back to the Fiesta Bowl, I'm with you guys. I was fully on the non-Lane train. Something that I have been saying since Ole Miss made the CFP was, you know what? No Kiffin, no problem. We don't need him. We are a team of destiny. And, you know, I don't like to show my bias. Maybe if it's Nebraska, it's different. But I like to be pretty neutral in these things. I went 1-1 because I did pick Indiana to beat Oregon again. But I did pick Ole Miss because I thought they were a team of destiny. I really wanted to see them make the CFP just to see how Lane Kiffin would react, because you know that was just crawling under his skin, the fact that they don't need him. He's doing his own thing at LSU. We're fine without you. Have fun down at the Bayou.
Yeah, I have to hand it to the Ole Miss players. They've had a great season, but they had to deal with so much stuff. And I was involved in a team one time, had a coaching change, and it is so disruptive. And it was amazing to me they did what they, as good as they did. Now, the question is, will the Ole Miss coaching staff have the character and not character, but the gravitas, if you will, of a Lane Kiffin to get some of those kids to come to Ole Miss? Because it's definitely a different feel when you look at the coaches and their colorfulness, you know. So we'll see how all that plays out. Folks, you're listening to the Tailgate Show. We'll be back with some other big issues leading up to the national championship game, and we'll get the picks from the not so ready for primetime pickers in just a minute. Stay with us.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled cool wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The Management Advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
Hello, everybody, and you're joined to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the not so ready for primetime pickers. We appreciate you being a part of it. And yes, I know I'm acting like I'm drinking tonight. I am not. We're experimenting with some new equipment, and you can't tell at all that it's thrown me off. So I want to go to the panel now. And I want to talk about Indiana, team of destiny. If they beat Miami on their own field and go 16-0, would they be considered the greatest college football team of all time? Now, that's a big title, but are they in that discussion? And we'll go in reverse order, go ladies first this time. Molly, what do you think?
I mean, I think you have to put them up there. And I'm glad you brought that up because we actually talked about this today on Three Man Front. You know, people might clip them up there with an 0-1 Miami or even a 2019 LSU because, I mean, you guys have to remember, this is Indiana football that we're talking about. They are the worst all-time FBS program of all time.
Yeah.
In terms of win percentage, everything. And the fact that in 2 years, Curt Cignetti, I think his record is something amazing, like 26-2 with those two losses, one of them being to Notre Dame last year in the college football playoff. The other one I think was to Ohio State last year. Yeah. And they always say it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. Obviously, we saw Ole Miss, or Georgia, they couldn't do it against Ole Miss. Oklahoma, they couldn't do it against Alabama in the CFP. But you know what? There's one thing about Curt Cignetti and Indiana. They're the ones that can do it against Oregon again. So I think I would put them up there just because they're so good and they execute at such a high level. I mean, they rarely make mistakes, self-inflicted wounds. You don't see that a lot from this team. I would certainly personally have them in the conversation.
Nathan, what do you say?
Yeah, Molly said it. They're definitely in the conversation. If I was going to put a team up there ahead of them, I think 2019 LSU probably would be the team. Statistically, it's 2019 LSU, and again, it's like Molly said, we're talking about a team that has been a perennial dumpster fire since their inception. And what Curt Cignetti has done, he's definitely kind of laying the blueprint for these coaches that come after to follow. He's prioritizing experience and success at the collegiate level over a 5-star rating. You know, that someone decided to put on this 18-year-old kid who, has been good at the high school level, but would you not rather have someone who's played even D2 college football at a high level for 4 years and has shown that they can be successful? So many guys come out of high school and flop. I can think of a couple of big Auburn examples that I'm not going to say by name. We're all thinking it. But the 5-star doesn't necessarily mean anything. And Curt Cignetti, man, I would love to just get to spend one day inside the facility just to kind of see, like, how do you build that culture? Because coaches talk about the things they do, and it's easy to put stuff on a poster and, we do X, Y, Z, but he's done something to turn these guys into robots, man. Like, no one on the field doesn't do their job. They just, it's a well-oiled machine. That Oregon game was something that you just don't ever see. And the offensive and defensive line, did you ever think you would live in a day when the Indiana Hoosiers could just blow anybody in the country off the ball?
No.
Alabama, Georgia, I don't care who it is. Like, these guys are monsters, and that just didn't used to even be something you could imagine. So Curt Cignetti's done a phenomenal job, and I said last week, and I'll say it again, Joel Klatt is the only national media member who believed in Indiana at the beginning of the year. He said, guys, why are we ranking this team 20? Yeah. Well, because they lost to their only two good opponents last year, Notre Dame and Ohio State. They're not going to duplicate this success. And he said, not only are they going to duplicate the success, I think they're going to be better because of the trajectory that Curt Cignetti has them on. And, I mean, they're staring down 16-0, which, if that happens, it's hard to say. It's definitely the most impressive college football season ever, and I think they're in the conversation for the best.
I think it's even more impressive when you have a team that was so bad that becomes so good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk about, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Southern Cal, Nebraska, Oklahoma, they've all had, long-running times that they were very dominant. Indiana ain't there. And like Molly said, I think it may not be now that I know they were the team with the most losses. I think this season may have moved them above Kent State or somebody. But you get the point when you're talking about them and that group. Hunter, what do you say? Are they in the discussion?
I think they need to be. And when you look at as far as like this season, like if we're talking about separate teams, they've had to go through Ohio State. They've had to go through Oregon, not once, but twice, and beat the brakes off of them twice. I was literally watching that game at a friend's house, walked out to my car to grab something, come back in, and it was 7-0, like with basically 10 seconds on game clock went by. I'm thinking, what happened? And my buddy's like, I don't know what happened. It literally, a blink of an eye, and they blew them out. That's how good they are. Now, granted, LSU had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, just, as many examples of whoever else was on that team that ended up going to the NFL. But if you look at who Indiana had to go through to get where they are now, they have to be in the conversation for the best, in my opinion. And you have Mendoza leading the charge, Cignetti. Like, I'll never forget, I mentioned it last week. I'm literally still drying my eyes from the Stranger Things finale in the theater. And Nathan leans over to me in the theater and goes, dude, Cignetti's the truth. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, after the Rose Bowl. And I'm like, holy cow. And people thought I was all tore up about that. I'm like, no, y'all don't think you understand.
Literally, Finn Wolfhard is giving, like, it's like the emotional climax of the show. And I'm like, Hunter, you're not going to believe this.
No, literally, I'm not, the quote, he said, Cignetti's the truth. And I'm like, what? I was like, what are you talking about?
I love the fact that he doesn't do the normal coach speak. He's kind of toned it down just a little bit, but when he's on game day telling everybody that they don't just beat top 20 teams, that they kick their, that's that's pretty good stuff. And the fact that him and Nick Saban were on the same team coaching. That's just, I know Greg McElroy showed a picture of him. I think he was a wide receiver coach talking to him when he was a quarterback at Alabama. So, wow. I mean, but you look through the playoffs. I mean, we talk about Nick Saban, probably the GOAT. You can't argue with that, I don't think. But look at the seeds that fell from that tree. I mean, it's incredible. The process carries on. And, the process is kind of a lot like what your mom and dad taught me in my generation, and that was, get better every time you go out there. Stay focused and build and, don't worry about all the other stuff. Of course, that's worked its way into college football, and I think that's why Nick Saban didn't want to be a part of it. So, but, yeah, I think they have to be in the conversation just with 16 wins. I mean, that's impressive. You kept everybody well, which brings up another question I was going to ask you. Were y'all a little panicked when he had Mendoza still in and the starting running back still in when they were ahead like by 40 points? Driving the field in the fourth quarter? I thought, Now, I have a lot of respect for him, but I don't think that's good management from a stat standpoint. Molly, did you get a little antsy when you saw that? I mean, it looked like he was running the score up on purpose a little bit.
I did a little bit, but then when you watch Kirk Cignetti on the sideline, he has the same face for anything that could ever happen. It's like nothing impresses him, nothing even phases him. Now, we did see that for the Alabama game, but I wonder if he kind of did that just because, oh, it's Alabama, I'm going to put my backup quarterback in. But maybe just for Oregon, so many people kind of doubted Indiana going into that game, thinking that this is where the road was going to end, especially because, like we said earlier, they always say it's hard to beat the same team twice in one season, but if there's anyone that can do it, again, it's Kirk Cignetti. So he's like, why not? We'll just keep going. We'll keep showing them who should be the favorite to win the national championship, who Indiana football is now, this new area of Indiana football, and boy, did they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they really did.
What is really funny is you mentioned it, Molly, how his face was stone cold every time they cut to him on
every
TV.
Single time.
He would always clock the cameras too. I don't know if anyone noticed. There's a compilation of him clocking the cameras every single time. Like he'd be looking at his play sheet, just look up like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like,
at the end of the game, he's like, oh yeah, I want to have a beer, and I'm like, that's the Kirk Cignetti I want to see.
My take on Kirk Cignetti keeping the starters in, like it does make you nervous. It's not the safe play. But whatever he's telling the guys in the locker room to get them to 15-0, I have to imagine it's not friendship and hand-holding and let's, hug each other and play for fun. Like he's getting these guys ready for war. And it just sends a message to the team when it's like, yeah, we're up by 40, but we're going to keep just dominating. I think he's playing a mental game, and the fact that they all made it out healthy, they're going to go into the Miami game just that much more confident.
Well, in the old days, if you left that quarterback in and did that, they had an assigned person to go out there and take him out, and he got lucky. And they will do that at Miami. If they better get ahead and get him out of there. But anyway, we'll be. Let's see. Let me check the time here. We're going to come back and we're going to pick the national championship game. Get into the nuts and bolts of that just a little bit, and we appreciate you being part of the process here on the Tailgate Show. The not so ready for primetime pickers. We'll be right back in just a minute with our picks for the big game. Stay with us.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters, done by the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. I'm your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, also the host of Bubba on the Lake. Got a little logo here behind me. And we're joined by Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and special guest picker Molly Robinson. Before we get into picking the game, I want to remind everybody that the boat show is coming up to the BJCC. I love the boat show, guys. I absolutely love the boat show. I love seeing those pontoons that I wish I had. If you're dreaming of sunny days on the water, make plans to visit seriously, I have got to quit drinking before these broadcasts. If you are going to make plans,
he doesn't.
to visit the Birmingham Boat Show, visit Russell Marine. It's all happening January 22nd through the 25th at the BJCC. Now, they're bringing the newest boats and personal watercraft models with great show pricing, plus a fully stocked pro shop so you can get completely outfitted for the water and be ready to go. Also, agents from Lake Martin Realty will be on site. Stop by their booth to find your own place and your own little piece of Lake Martin just in time for summer. For all the newest boats and gear, find it all with Russell Marine at the BJCC, and that is coming up January the 2nd through the 25th. All right, primetime pickers, we are ready for the championship game. And, Hunter, let's start with you. How do you see this one playing out? Is Indiana a team of destiny, or will the Hurricanes, the U, spoil the party?
Yeah, I don't know if the U is going to spoil the party. I like their defense a lot. I like Keontae Scott. He's been kind of the impact player. He's former Auburn guy. He's shown out throughout the playoff, making big plays. He had a humongous pick six when they beat Ohio State. But one guy's not going to be able to do it, and Indiana overall has a well-rounded team. When Mendoza is dialed in with his receivers, they don't know how to handle that. Then Indiana gets to the run game. They don't know how to handle that. That's going to be a problem. And if they did what they did to Oregon with the potential to do in Miami, then who knows what's going to happen. It could be ugly. It could be a close game. Me personally, I'm hoping it's not a blowout. I hope it's a close game. But I'm taking the Hoosiers in this one. I like Mendoza a lot. I think he's a great guy on and off the field. But I think Cignetti's going to have these guys ready to beat the brakes off Miami in their home turf. I'm not sure when the game is. I believe a Monday night. So, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited, and I've got the Hoosiers in this one.
Nathan, the Hoosiers have had an incredible season, but Miami's hot. You got to admit that. They barely made it into the playoffs, and they're getting by week to week. Now they're going to be at home. Is that an equalizer in this game? What do you think?
I think it's going to play in their favor. I'm not fully willing to say beat the brakes off of Miami yet. I hope Hunter has spoken that into existence, because that would be great.
Hey, look.
But I'm going to roll with the Hoosiers. My heart is pulling me in that direction. My love of college football is I want to see the 16-0. And for the first 16-0 team to be, like Molly said earlier, the worst team in FBS 2 years ago. It's people talk about Cinderella. This is the ultimate Cinderella. And honestly, and this is not an exaggeration, if Miami wins this game, I'm going to turn off my TV. I'm going to turn off every light in my apartment. I'm going to sit in the dark until the sun comes up. And I'm going to listen to sad music and probably like bread or something. And I'm never going to watch. Yeah, and I'm never going to watch sports again. Ever.
All right.
Well, I've kind of give up on sports.
I'm going to retire from sports watching.
Being a Minnesota Viking and an Auburn fan, not much to cheer for.
Auburn and the Colts, it's no better. So I'm used to the heartbreak, but I can't handle a Miami win here.
No.
Molly, what do you think? Tell us about the national championship game. Are you going, by the way? Are they sending you to cover it?
So I'm not going. I will actually be in Florida this weekend, but I'll be in Orlando. But I'm coming back Sunday night so I can make it back here for the game. But listen, with the weather here, I wish I could be in Miami on Monday. Trust me. Instead, I am going to be bundled up. I don't even know what the temp is on Monday, but even though I'm from Michigan and lived in Nebraska, I still do not like the cold. And yes, anything under 50 degrees is still too cold for me.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think the Big Ten, I think they're going to win their third straight national title. At this point, you look at Indiana, it's hard not to not pick them. And when you look at what they did to both Alabama in the Rose Bowl and Oregon in the Peach Bowl, back-to-back games, I mean, you could slap Georgia's name and logo over that team or Ohio State's name and logo, and it would be just as impressive. I mean, they're winning by an average margin of almost 35 points in both of these games. And, I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum, and we have at Jocks since the CFP started all season with Indiana. But, I mean, what Kurt Cignetti has done has been remarkable. I mean, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 one day or for the whatever the book comes out about Kurt Cignetti. And if this is a team that can keep it rolling, because, you know, you always have kind of this voodoo or whatever before any of these games where everyone's picking the same team. Oh, this team's going to win. This team's going to win. It feels like this is that situation where everyone is picking Indiana to win. But if there's a team in this field that's not going to let that moment get to them and they're not going to get timid, it's this Kurt Cignetti-led Indiana team. And, I mean, Fernando Mendoza, you know, this was kind of a lackluster year in terms of the Heisman, but, I mean, he has backed up his Heisman win with every chance he's gotten in the CFP. I mean, there's a ridiculous stat that he has more touchdown passes than he does incompletions.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
And that is just absurd, and I don't know if we'll ever see something like that again, personally, but, I mean, it's just – and, you know, Hunter, you said it, Miami, they've got a scary good defensive front. They're really good on the line of scrimmage, but it's hard. It's really hard to pick against Indiana, and I never thought in a million years that we would say that. Actually, I have a funny story really quick. When I was on the Nebraska dance team, we were awful. Our football team was. We would maybe win 3-4 games every year. But before the season, we would always go to this dance team camp to, you know, learn some of our dances, meet other dance teams across the country. And the Indiana dance team was always there. And I remember one year, I think it was before my junior year, I had met a girl on the Indiana dance team, and she was also in sports communications or sports management, something along those lines. And we were joking how the two of us, both Indiana and Nebraska, were kind of the laughing stocks of the Big Ten, and how we were, 3-9, can't wait for another season without a bowl game. She was like, yeah, you know, us too. Like, I think that year they went like 2-10. I would love to know how she's doing right now, because I will be totally honest with you. It would kind of depend on the year, but that was usually a guaranteed win for at least one of us, Indiana or Nebraska. And I'm like, I can't help but admit that I am jealous. Like, I wish that could be us in this moment, but never in a million years, especially 4 years ago, thought that I would be saying that. But I mean, how could you not roll with Indiana?
Look, 3 years ago, if I got out of a spaceship, said I was from the future, and said, we're going to have a national championship game, the Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes, you go, okay, are going to host the Indiana Hoosiers, and Indiana is a favorite, going for 16 wins in a row in the season.
Like basketball?
Yeah,
Football,
well,
sure?
I mean, you would have thought I was, crazy, El Loco, but here we are. And I'm not going to go against the trend here. I learned early this year Indiana cost me a couple of picks. I'm not picking against Indiana this year. they just look too good. Now, it's not to say that Miami is not peaking at the right time. Yeah. If there is a scary team for Indiana, I would say it's Miami, and they're playing at home. So, we're going to see Michael Irvin get his belt out and whip the cooler again. I mean, did that bother y'all? I mean, it wasn't like just once disturbing. Or twice. He just kept doing it. I thought he's got some problems. I mean, he needs to seek help and buy that team a new cooler to begin with. That thing won't hold Gatorade anymore. But I'm going with Indiana. They're just a team of destiny, and congratulations to them. They've done an excellent. No matter what happens, they've had a historic year. Yeah. So, but I do fully expect them to win this. Maybe a closer game than they've had. It may actually go into the third quarter this time. But, I mean, they're brutes up front. They are just whipping everybody up front. So if they can do Miami that way in front of a home crowd, they are the national champion, no doubt about it, earned on the field. And how about Miami? They had a great year, too. Barely got into the playoffs, and they were not that good a team this year. They were, above average, but they have peaked at the right time, and so they've had a good year, too. So that's it. I mean, it's a clean sweep. We all think the Hoosiers are going to do it. Hoosiers?
Man, I hope so.
It would be a great story. I really do. I just there's that weird feeling in your stomach that Miami's going to ruin this party, but I just think Indiana's too good. I really do. Like, everyone was thinking that Oregon was going to stop the train, and Indiana took it over and ran over the Ducks. Like, it's just they're too well coached. They have the Heisman winner on their side. Like, all the odds are in their favor. It's just they need to finish it out, and I think they will.
Well, any other comments on the championship game before we move to the final segment?
My final comment is I wish 5 years ago I would have had the Marty McFly Sports Almanac so I could have made $1 billion on Indiana.
You could have made $1 billion this year. All right, that's great. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back with our closing segment. We'll get a chance to plug away, and we'll talk about some of the wins and losses on this show this year. And tonight's been a loss for me, that's for sure. So you're listening to the Tailgate Show, and we'll be right back.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The management advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Spend your mornings with breakfast at Fanny's. Afternoons, you can explore over 100 miles of trails through Russell Forest. And for dinner, how about the Southern farm-to-table flavors at Springhouse? Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tailgate Show, where you get the picks from the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. We've picked the national championship game, and it's across the board. Indiana is the favorite. Can they hold up? Will the Hurricanes rain on the party, so to speak? So here in segment 4, we like to do a plug away, and we start with our special guest picker tonight, Molly Robinson, who is on 94.5 Jocks in Birmingham and does produces and does all kind of things with that morning show. Molly, tell us a little bit about what you do and plug away.
Yeah, so you said it. I currently work as a on-air co-host as well as content producer. I work as an on-air co-host mostly for Three Man Front, but I do a little bit of everything for all the shows. And if you're not familiar with 94.5, we have Morning Jocks in the mornings. We also have Cole and Greg's show, Mac and Cube, from 7 to 10. And then our show comes on from 10 to 2 every day, Three Man Front. And it's myself, my boss, Pat Smith, Landrum Roberts, and Conrad Van Order. We all come from different backgrounds, but we have a really great time. And one of the things I love about our show is that we're extremely listener-focused. So we love getting people's calls and texts and their hottest takes or their coldest takes, their best opinion, their worst opinion, whatever it is. We love to listen. But no, we have a great time, and we have a great time at the station. And I'm not going to lie, my first day at work when I saw Cole Kubick and Greg McElroy, I was a little starstruck, and I'm rarely ever starstruck. But, living in the state as a kid and my dad being an Alabama football fan, I was like, now wait a dang minute, that's Greg McElroy. So that was really cool my first day at work. But now I'm used to him. I see him most days. This time of year he's busy, but I still do see him quite a bit. And then on top of that, during the football season, I am the sideline reporter for Hewitt Trustful High School. Trustful. said that really weird. Hewitt-Trussville High School. I cover all of their games. We made it to the first round of the playoffs. We unfortunately lost it to Opelika in the first round, but been doing that for the past few years. I'll also do some games freelance for ESPN Plus. I got to do a couple Sanford football and basketball games, trying to get more games with that, which will be really fun. So I'm a busy girl, but you know what? I feel like I thrive more when I'm busy and I have stuff to do. And anything I can do to talk about football, or I love baseball as well. I would say college football is probably my number one. And then I love the NFL, but there's just something so romantic with all the pageantry and the passion that you have in college football that I feel like you don't get in the NFL. But just below those two, I would probably put baseball. I grew up watching baseball with my brother, and living in Detroit, we would go to Tigers games all the time. And, I tried to catch a Barons game or two, or if I'm up in Huntsville, I'll go and check out the Trash Pandas. But as you can tell, I like to stay busy. So I find myself doing a lot, not only during the football season, but during the off season as well.
It is great you have that much energy, because it will pass one day. Okay, so enjoy it.
I do have a lot of energy.
And also stars as, what was the girl on Big Bang Theory, Hunter? Was it, what was her name? Penny.
Penny.
Who's a big Nebraska fan. Hunter,
I'm the honorary Big Ten graduate.
There you go. Odd, Hunter, your turn. Plug away.
Yeah, I mentioned last week I helped co-host a show on the Barn Auburn. You can find that on YouTube. It is called the Barn Social Hour. Even though it's called the Social Hour, it's 30 minutes, and we have already heard backlash on that. But get over it. It's a fun show. It's supposed to be funny.
It's a joke. People lighten up.
That's the whole point. It's a nightly show, Monday through Friday. It's actually, as we're recording this, it's live right now. So if you're wondering how I'm here and there at the same time when you're listening to this, the art of pre-recording is a beautiful thing. And we just cover all things Auburn, whether it be recruiting, portal or transfer portal, game results, football, basketball, you name it. We're there covering it. And there's some great shows on there as well, like the Top Button Podcast and Village Vice. So get all that there on YouTube at the Barn Auburn.
Nathan, do you have anything you need to plug away on?
I guess so. I'm a teacher by day, so I don't know how exciting that's going to be to the viewers. But my brother, David Hall, who some of you may follow on Twitter, David Hall at the Fan Cave Pod. We're about to start a podcast this spring called the Fan Cave Podcast. And it's going to be a total nerd out. It's going to be sports focused, but it's going to be movies and TV shows and just all of the discussions and arguments that we have all the time. Anyway, Bubba, I know you've been exposed to some of those. And we're just going to start it as a passion project and have fun with it and see where it goes. But on Twitter, that's David Hall at the Fan Cave Pod. So we're working on that.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm very familiar with y'all's debates from college days in the car when we do our late night runs to go find food when we get bored.
Yeah, and David is a master Twitter troll, so he could teach classes on how to make Alabama fans enraged on social media. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, I hope that everybody will be back for next year for football, to say the least. I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast, for our sponsors that have come along beside us and helped make it possible. It wasn't the easiest spring for me. Had a few knee surgeries, and 3 to be exact, and that was a little more than we'd planned on to begin with. But so far, so good. I want to just it's been great. We just appreciate everybody's support. We've had a lot of fun doing this. We gave away the coveted Silver Sow Award for the best tailgaters. It wasn't as quite as coveted as I thought it was going to be. We didn't give away but like 3 of those, but the ones that got it was a neat trophy. I'll tell you, I want to get one just to put on the shelf here. We want everybody to be sure to hit our website. That's the tailgateshow.com. You'll see our radio partners there. You'll see merchandise, all the information you need about the program. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and all that stuff you have to do now with social media and podcasting. But we have had a ball doing this, and it's been a giant experiment, and it's been fun, and I give it high marks on the old fun meter. So we had a good time doing it, and we hope everybody enjoyed it as much. Guys and Molly, any closing comments before we pull the cover and pull the curtain on this program for this year?
I'll start by saying that I've enjoyed doing this. Me and you, Dad, have talked about doing a show together for a while now, and post radio, and I'm glad we got to do it, and can't wait to see where this goes. Maybe we can cover March Madness and come back on, a little bit earlier before football season starts, or just let it simmer for a little bit and see where the demand goes. But regardless, I'm excited and glad that we got to do this. So,
me too. It's been a lot of fun. Nathan, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's been a blast. Just kind of echo Hunter. I think you guys should have done a show together. It's been really fun, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm excited for the college football season to get started back up again. Hopefully with Indiana as national champs. Because if Miami wins, I don't know. I may never watch college sports again. But assuming Indiana pulls it off, I'm excited for next season. And yeah, the first season has been a ton of fun.
Molly, any closing thoughts for you? Your first and only appearance so far on the Tailgate Tailgate show, but we will have you back.
Well, similar to what Nathan said, I do hope that Indiana wins because then we all look really smart. But thank you for letting me be part of, yes, like you said, it was my first show, but honored to be part of the last show as well for the series. I had a really great time. You guys are a lot of fun. And like I said, hopefully we're right come Monday night.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. Monday night, they will kick it off, and we will crown a new national champion. We'll all be watching. If our budget was bigger, we would all go out there, but it's not, so we're not going this year, guys. Yeah. Maybe next year. We'll see. So until toe touches leather on Monday night and we get a national champion, we will talk to you next year as we usher in a new college football season with the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. Thank you so much for letting us be part of your football season. We enjoyed it, and we hope that you do. Take care. God loves you, and so do we.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled cool wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
Hello, this is Robert Smith for Awards to Remember. I hope you'll think of us for trophies, plaques, and awards. We're famous for our low discount prices and our customer service is second to none. We were named as one of the top 10 awards dealers in the Southeast. We were a finalist for Alabama Small Business of the Year, and our website at awardstoRemember.com is one of the best in the industry. Awards to Remember, where we don't just create trophies, we create memories.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. If you love the outdoors, then Naturalist Marianne's classroom is where you need to be. She brings the outdoors to you at Russell Crossroads. Or you can see Lake Martin and thousands of acres of undisturbed forest taking a guided horseback trail ride through the stables. If you're here for a weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
You've been listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, a production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees, all rights reserved. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe to the show and all social media. Contact information is on our website at thetailgatetailgateshow.com. Until next time, may your coals stay hot and your tent stay dry.